says she's having trouble breathing. She said she was stabbed multiple times.
It's the attack on a young girl that left the nation stunned.
As the details became more apparent in our investigation, it's extremely disturbing.
Is a supernatural force to blame?
We think we see him sometimes. It didn't feel like anything. It was like air.
And what can happen next is anyone's guess. May 31st, 2014, Waukesha, Wisconsin. A terrifying 911 phone call is about to start one of the strangest crime stories in modern American history.
Came upon a 12-year-old female. She appears to be stabbed.
A man named Greg Steinberg is out bicycle riding when he discovers a young girl bleeding on the side of the road.
She says she's having trouble breathing. She said she was stabbed multiple times.
The victim is Peyton Leitner. She had been attacked in the nearby woods, but was able to muster up enough strength to crawl out.
She said she can take shallow breaths. She's alert.
And she didn't say who did this or how it
I
happened?
don't know if she wants to be talking. I started to ask her,
Okay,
and then
that's okay.
Peyton is rushed to the hospital, where doctors frantically try to save her life. Miraculously, despite her extensive injuries, Peyton survives. The identity of the attackers turned out to be as shocking as the stabbing itself. Two 12-year-old girls, Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire, classmates of Peyton.
It's extremely disturbing as a parent and as a chief of police.
Even more frightening is why the girls did it. Apparently, they were influenced by something they saw online.
You said like a character or something?
A character that is on several different websites.
Like a fictional character?
Yes.
Who was this fictional character? Anissa and Morgan decide to open up to the detectives, and they say things that no one saw coming.
There's this website called the Creepypasta Wiki.
Okay.
It's full of like horror stories that are meant to purposely scare you. And there's one of them called Slenderman.
Slenderman, the mysterious and unsettling horror character depicted as a faceless, elongated figure with multiple tendrils dressed in a dark suit. Although they're in separate interrogation rooms, both Morgan and Anissa provide the same motive for trying to kill Peyton, or whom they called Bella.
He has these proxies, or servants, as people call them, and Morgan said, "Hey, Anissa, we should be proxies." And I was like, "Okay, how would we do that?" She said, "We have to kill Bella, because we had to supposedly prove ourselves worthy to Slender."
How many times do you think you stabbed her?
I don't know. It happened very quickly. All I heard was screaming. I said, "I'm sorry."
According to the girls, during a slumber party, they lured Peyton out to the woods to play a game, but really intended to murder her. They claim that if they didn't do this for Slender Man, he would kill them and their families.
We think we see him sometimes.
Okay.
I saw him out of the corner of my eye on this side.
Okay.
And then Morgan said she heard a twig crack and no one was moving.
Morgan and Anissa aren't like other 12-year-olds. Morgan would be diagnosed with schizophrenia, and Anissa with delusional disorder and depression. A search of Geyser's home revealed more. There were internet searches for how to get away with murder and what kind of insane am I. Yet when it came to who's actually the mastermind and did the stabbing, they pointed the finger at one another.
Anissa told me we had to.
Why?
Because she said that he'd kill our families.
Morgan jumped on top of Bella and started stabbing her repeatedly, and that's when I turned around because I couldn't stand to see that.
And then we said that we were going to play hide and seek, and then Anissa jumped her.
Who stabbed her first?
I think Anissa stabbed her first, and then I continued, and then she was like, "Morgan, make sure she doesn't escape!" And then it was like, Anissa said that she'd go get help. I didn't have anything to do with the lying, well, that was all Anissa.
The whole time, Peyton was screaming in agony. So we told her we were gonna get help. we really weren't. We were gonna run and let her pass away.
Morgan and Anissa are charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide. In 2016, after a lengthy legal battle making it all the way to the Court of Appeals, it's determined both defendants, who are then 14 years old, are to be tried as adults. The prosecution of two girls for attempted murder became a national story, with many appalled and in disbelief over the motive. Yet, there were others who felt sympathy. The interrogations themselves ignited a ton of discussion. In 2017, Anissa changes the game. She agrees to plead guilty to attempted second-degree intentional homicide, but she wants a trial to determine if her mental illness excuses her from being criminally responsible and ultimately from winding up behind bars. That very same month, Morgan follows suit. She pleads guilty to attempted first-degree intentional homicide. In this agreement, prosecutors don't fight the mental illness question. Instead, they resolve that she should remain at a psychiatric health facility.
Swire continues to believe that Slender Man is real. She also stated that as recently as July 2017, she believed that an evil spirit was pushing down on her bed after the spirit had been let out of a homemade Ouija board. She has been convinced by another inmate who is a devil worshiper that her co-actor, meaning Miss Geyser, is possessed. What's best for the community may not be what's best for Anissa Wire. As much as we can sit back and say, I will never do that again, and I think it's sincere, I'm not criticizing her for saying it, we don't know.
Anissa was ordered to spend the next 25 years in a mental hospital. 2 months later, Morgan had her sentencing on first-degree attempted intentional homicide.
To let Ella and her family know I'm sorry. I never meant this to happen. I hope that she's doing well.
The judge sentenced Morgan to 40 years of institutional care. At the time of this taping, Morgan's lawyers are appealing the case, arguing that she should never have been tried as an adult. Peyton Leitner has moved on with her life, with plans to enter into the medical field, but that doesn't mean she's forgotten what happened, nor won't pay attention to what happens next. Legally, both Morgan and Anissa can now petition every 6 months for conditional release from the hospital.